My mom is the ultimate kitchen top. And growing up, I wasn't really appreciative of her food until I went to college. During college, I had a lot of mental health challenges. And one of the things that grounded me was her cooking, was eating her food, was remembering what that embodiment of safety felt like. 3 months into my testosterone journey, my mom started to notice my voice changing. She was asking me, "Gan, are you sick?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am," half lying and half telling her the truth. At the end of the day, I wasn't moving with full honesty towards my mom. And I was scared. I was scared of the heaviness that she would have to hold, where oftentimes I think my mom operates on blaming herself on things that she can't control. Sounds familiar. For example, if I were to get hit by a car, my mom would blame herself saying, "It's my fault that I didn't call you so that you can look both ways, da da da," versus sometimes bad things happen to me. What that does is that it centers herself versus centers my narrative of the harm that I'm feeling right now, of the pain that I'm experiencing. So I took a step back and really had to think about, I really want my parents to get to know me in this way. So I had to be really strategic on how I'm gonna deliver this message. I reached out to almost all of my siblings for support. I hopped on a call and said, "Hey, giving you a heads up, I plan to tell mom and dad that I'm on this medication. Here are some of the physical changes that are gonna come up." And they're like, "Okay, got it. Yeah, we're here to support you." And then the next day when I hopped on a call with my parents, I was like, "Hey, mom and dad, you know how my voice has been changing and altering? Yeah, that's due to some medication that I'm on. There might be other changes, but I'm doing fine and I'm feeling really happy right now." And then my parents took it really well. They're like, "Oh yeah, as long as you're happy, that's all that we really want." And then the next day, my sibling called me and they're like, "Oh shit, mom and dad is freaking out." They're blaming themselves. They think that it's their fault that you have to be on medication because it's that bad. But in actuality, it's not. Not until I told my siblings, I'm on medication because it's helping me feel more aligned in my body. And that's really the end of the goal. And my siblings took that message to my parents and it just clicked for them. They're like, "Oh, you're in a healthy place to make a decision that feels good for you and you're healing? Hell the fuck yeah, hell yeah." It's been such a challenging journey, but I feel so grateful to have siblings not only to translate for me, because my Vietnamese isn't that strong, and to have parents to really hear and see me in the ways that I want them to see. So for today's dish, I am gonna focus on oven-baked bone marrow. And why I chose bone marrow today is because when I was a lot younger, my mom would make a giant pot of pho, and then with the bones, my siblings and I would fight over the bone marrow. And this just is a dedication to my love for my family, for my mom and my siblings, because I'm not gonna really share this dish with them, but I'm gonna eat it in front of them and tell them how good it is. And I hope you enjoy this too. So let's get started. So what you need today is bone marrow. And just a quick tip, what I like to do to buy bone marrow is I'll call up all the local butchers, figure out which one's the cheapest, go there and ask them to cut it like a canoe. Shallots, parsley, salt, olive oil, fish sauce, white vinegar, black pepper, oyster sauce, bread. And this is sourdough bread, so it's whatever your preference is. Let's get started. Before we start on the bone marrow, I would suggest to preheat your oven to 380 to 400 degrees. What you're gonna do is just take a brush, take the oyster sauce, and just lightly brush it like so. And you don't need to do a thick layer, just like one stroke is fine. And then you're gonna take a pinch of salt and do just a little bit. And then we're just gonna crush some black peppers. And that's it, super simple. We're gonna pop this in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes and then broil it for the last minute. So now we're gonna cut the shallots. So you're gonna take the shallots and cut it thinly. Oh, that's spicy. Okay, now we're gonna grill it. Once your skillet gets warm enough, I would add the olive oil. Even it out. Make sure the whole skillet gets love, equality for all. Toss one in, and if it sparkles like that, you're ready. And we're just gonna cook it down a little bit. And then from here, we're gonna add a little bit of the vinegar. I'm gonna bring down my fire some medium simmer. And then from here, add a little bit of fish sauce. So this is gonna act as if it's it's a little bit more on the pickled, salty side to cut through that fatty, meaty part of the bone marrow. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna turn off the fire. And now we're gonna go check on the bone marrow and put everything together. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut the sourdough bread and I'm just gonna cut it really thinly. Okay, we'll stop for there. All right, the big reveal. Wow, that looks beautiful. Okay, now the plating time. So here are these little mini skillets, and I got these at Daiso for like $2. So just FYI if you wanna do cute plating. 2 right here. And for the final touches, we're just going to use our hands. And what I love about parsley is that it has like this peppery taste to it that kind of helps cut through the fat as well. And it just looks beautiful. Wow, y'all, this is super beautiful. This just reminds me of my relationship with my siblings, and it's just in an elevated and more refined version. And I'm really excited for y'all to taste this. Can I get my taste testers to come out and try it? That looks bomb. I made that. Y'all made that.
The onion.
What does the onion do?
The shell. It's like you said, tangy, vinegary, pickly, but salty. You know, not too bright.
Salty.
Yeah. Oh my. Wow. Very well balanced.
If you score another date with this, you know to credit me again. Wow, this is beautiful.
Oh, so good. Yeah, the shallot.
Shaw brings it together. All right, thank you, y'all. Enjoy.